Restrictions on dynamically created functions with concurrent.futures.ProcessPoolExecutor. I am trying to do some multiprocessing with functions that I dynamically create within other functions. It seems I can run these if the function fed to ProcessPoolExecutor is module level. Output. However, I can't do it if the multiprocessing is launched by a class function. Output. On the other hand, I can run the multiprocessing on a class function just fine if I don't use a dynamically generated function in there. Is there some way around this? I tried adding the dynamically generated function to the globals dictionary, but that didn't seem to help. Output. So Python still thinks it is a local object even though I added it to the global sticked. Something like this globals idea would be fine. I don't need anything fancy. I am only dynamically creating these functions for the sake of convenience. I would be perfectly happy for them to be global objects. They will always be defined by the module. There are just a bunch of them with almost the same definition, so it is more convenient to define them programmatically rather than writing them all out manually. So I would have thought it was possible to somehow get Python to recognize them as true functions, like if I define them via exec, or at least close enough that I could use them in my parallelized code. As the error messages suggest, it's more to do with the pickling rather than dynamically generated functions. From this URL, only pickleable objects can be executed and returned. And from this URL, the sorts of functions which can be pickled. Functions defined at the top level of a module using def, not lambda, which suggests other sorts of functions can't be pickled. From the code in the question, a function that doesn't adhere to this leaps out, dynamic_func from. And you hint that this is the issue. So I would have thought it was possible to somehow get Python to recognize them as true functions. You can put dynamic_func on the top level and use partial rather than a closure. So in full. But why the original form without classes worked, I don't know. By my understanding, it would be trying to pickle a non-top level function, and so I think my understanding is flawed.
The answer cannot solve all condition. For example, the problem is future.result in function invoke_func still always returned none.